Originally, I was gonna go around and get all of the like free things you get on your birthday, and it was such a good idea in my head until I started to think about it and realized it would require me to like go out and be with people and ask them for free things. That's okay, So I just got myself a donut and a coffee instead. You can't go wrong with a blueberry donut.
Perfect.
So instead of doing that, it's really aggressive. I'm making, my brain isn't done yet. I made a list of 31 things that I wish I knew earlier in my life because I'm turning 31. Well, okay, the whole thing with birthdays is funny because I've already lived 31 years, so technically I'm in my 32nd year. So I wasn't wrong when I thought I was turning 32. Technically, I'm turning into the year of 32. No, I was wrong. I made a list of 31 things I wish I knew earlier in life. Ready? Go. Whoa, hold on. Ready? Number one, autism. I wish I knew I was autistic sooner because that wouldn't have made my life easier, but it definitely would have helped me understand myself better. The world is not designed for people with brains that are neurodivergent. I wish I would have understood that I was not broken and I did not need to heal myself. I just needed to learn how to adapt my life in a way that made sense to me and worked for me and didn't make me feel like I hated myself. But now I know it. It's never too late. In the same vein, school is usually designed for one specific type of learner and student, and if it doesn't work for you, that doesn't mean that you're a bad student. It just means that you need to find a system that works for you. Maybe you just need to get a GED. Honestly, I wish I would have done that. I would have saved myself so much stress if I would have just been like, you know what, this isn't working. I can't go into it. It makes me mad if I think about it. Maybe I shouldn't cross these out because this is kind of a good list. I'm not a rehabilitation center for broken people. I think a lot of the times that I have felt not good enough to be loved by somebody was not that they didn't not love me. It's that they did just hate themselves more than they loved me. They didn't have room to love me. They didn't even love themselves, okay? Don't give up on books. If you don't like books, just find a different book. Try a different genre. Yeah, it's good. It's a good time. I think I'm gonna burp. Excuse me,
That was deep.
I ate my donut too fast. Okay. Hope isn't silly. Anything... Ow, I just stabbed myself with my pen. Okay. Anything that makes you feel hopeful, whether it's a book that you love, crochet projects, music, cooking, baking, being outside, the sun, like anything that makes you feel hopeful is not silly. Hope isn't silly. None of those things are silly. Teeth. You only get one set. As a kid, I didn't really care about that. I just was like, well, I'm gonna live forever and nothing's ever gonna go wrong with my body, so it's all good. You don't even need to brush them. You do. I think that it's really important for me as a woman to know myself sexually. Getting involved in church really stunted my growth mentally and sexually and emotionally. I think that I was taught basically that my entire existence is for the benefit of someone else's pleasure or creating life. And I don't think I was ever really encouraged that sex is an important thing for me too. So I think that I wish I would have been taught a lot more about that when I was younger. And at 31 years old, I'm very passionate about that now. Romantic novels, great place to start. Especially if you're autistic. I find that those conversations about sex are really hard to have. And so reading romance novels as an autistic person are kind of like instruction manuals, to be honest with you. A how-to guide. It's great. Hobbies are great. College isn't necessary if you know what you want to do without it. It's also not necessary to go to college right away. If you don't know what you want to do, just give it some time. Just spend a couple years, 1, 2, 10, however many years you want, without going to college and do whatever you want to do. Get a job that doesn't require a degree, go to trade school, get your GED, do college online, don't do college at all. I think there's plenty of things people can do without college degrees, especially as universities change now. I mean, if you're becoming a doctor, yeah, I think you should be going to college, please. I mean, you'll have to, but also I want you to. But there's plenty of things that you can do without a college degree. I'm not an advocate to not go to college. I'm not saying don't go to college. I'm saying if you don't want to go to college, that's okay. I don't have a degree. I have a million certifications, bunch of trades. I've gone to like 4 or 5 different colleges in my life, 7+ years of school, not a single bachelor's degree to show for it, and I'm doing okay. Yeah. I did actually get another donut. I think having divorced parents doesn't automatically mean that you don't know how to be a good partner. Because sometimes what not to do in a relationship is just as good, if not better, of an example than what to do. A little THC goes a long way. Consent can be withdrawn at any time. Anytime. Anytime. It's okay to like pumpkin spice. You don't need to explain yourself. It's okay. A lot of people like it because it's good. It's a cliche because it's good. I think people are too casual about suggesting that other people have children. I don't understand why people are just so casual about it. That doesn't make any sense. When you decide to get healthy, people won't always like that. You're gonna lose a lot of people in your life. Learn how to set boundaries. People do not like that, especially when they're used to being able to use you in a way that they can't use you anymore. Just be prepared for that. It's gonna feel like you're the one that's doing something wrong, and it doesn't feel very good until it does. Time and geographical space are very good for that. In that similar space, a boundary doesn't change someone else's behavior, it changes the way that you respond to that behavior. They're just so you know when that fence was crossed. You can be like, hey, you crossed that fence, I don't like that. Here's how I'm gonna respond to that. Drop kick them. I'm not 100% sure. I just run away. Happiness and health feel very boring when you're used to chaos and you're used to unhealth. Very boring. Takes a while to unlearn how to crave the chaos. And you're gonna wanna refill it with all the chaos because that's what you're used to. Don't do that. Just give it some time. You don't need a lot of friends. You just need like a couple good ones. Sometimes my one and only friend is Ben Jonas, my husband. That's great. That's super maintainable. I do have one or two really good friends at this season of my life, and yeah, it feels really good. But anything else besides that, it's too much. I can't maintain that. And I think when you're in high school, you just assume you're gonna have a big group of friends forever. Like I was just out the other night. We saw this group of high schoolers. There was like 25 of them, all congregated outside of a store in this like outdoor shopping mall on a Friday night. And I just remember when I was in school, everyone would send a text and be like, hey, everybody meet outside of the movie theaters, you know, at 8 o'clock. And it's all 25 of your best friends. You're just like,
I don't think we'll ever live life without each other.
And sometimes you don't. So there's some friends that maintain friendship throughout, you know, their whole life. All 25 of them are the closest and bestest of friends, and they all know each other's social security numbers and are at the birth of everybody's children, and that's amazing. That's not typical. So if you just have like one or two good friends, that's awesome. That's great. You're doing great. I still have no idea what I'm doing, and most days I'm just faking it till I make it. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But as a child, I just assumed at 30 years old, 31 years old, I would be like, wow, she's probably got it all figured out. I don't, ever. I'm just faking it. Sometimes it works. How hard could it be is one of the best questions I can train my brain to ask after I hear about a skill I want but do not possess. How hard could it be? Do you know how much of my life has been spawned from the question, how hard could it be? Most of it. Most of it. Everything I'm doing right now is just a result of me asking myself the question, how hard could it be? It's a good time. That's a good question to ask yourself. It's a good question to teach your brain how to respond with when you are presented with a problem. How hard could it be? Forgive and forget is ridiculous. That's absurd. Forgive and tattoo on the inside of your eyelids forever. I don't know who's out there just forgetting. Now, I'm not gonna forgive and ruminate or like forgive and obsess, but I'm not gonna forget, that's for sure. There's gonna be no forgetting happening here. Tattoos don't need to mean anything. You can just get them. Things are gonna go very, 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 very good, and then very, 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 very bad. And then when they go very bad, you're gonna think there's no way anything's ever gonna go good ever again. And then it will. And then it will go so good that you're like, I don't know how things will ever go bad again, and then it will. And life is just everything that happens in between the very good and the very bad. That's what life is. Hello? I think that was the post office man. Post office man? Oh, my shoulders are itchy. I'm a little nervous because it's my birthday that people are just gonna start like bringing stuff to the doorstep. I don't want any of this to come off like I'm like self-indulgent. Yeah, it feels good for now. Oh, no one completes you ever. Do not enter a partnership hoping that that person will complete you. It's not 50-50, it's 100-100. It should be like a motorcycle and a sidecar. Just kidding. It's two equal equal-sized motorcycles attached to each other. But if the sidecar goes away, the motorcycle's still a badass motorcycle. It's just did not got the sidecar. I'm not comparing your partner to a sidecar. I'm just saying it's a thing that could be a thing alone or another cool thing added on top. Next to, on the side car. It's not like a motorcycle with like, you're both a wheel and once one wheel is gone, well, you can't ride that motorcycle anymore. That's not how it is. You've got to be a full and complete motorcycle. That feels like a good analogy. It just needs to be ironed out a little bit. I stand by it. It's never too late for anything. Vera Wang started doing wedding dresses in her 40s. If it's good enough for Vera Wang, it should be good enough for us, right? Fiction is so important. I cannot stress the importance of fiction for your brain. You need fiction in your life. Before this season, I never read fiction because I felt like reading fiction was a waste of time. So all I did was consume non-fiction self-help books. It was like my brain just wanted to vomit up self-help. No wonder I didn't like reading. It's just good. You should read fiction. YouTube is a great place for learning how to do things that a parent didn't teach you. You don't have to laugh at things that aren't funny and make you uncomfortable. You can just stand there with a straight face. Okay, just like that. Okay, so by the end of the day, that's gonna choke me. By the end of the day, I ended up having not a big mental breakdown, just a real tiny little mental breakdown. My brain just convinced me that none of that was worth listening to, and it kind of started in the middle, and I started to second guess myself, and then by like number 28, I was just like, who do you think you are? So I stopped recording, and I'm not sure why I did that. I had 3 left, and so I'm gonna give you my 3 right now because it is worth listening to, because it felt important when I was making it, and it feels important while I'm editing it. And so I'm gonna finish this list. Number 29. Wait. Should have had my book open, sorry. Number 29, your brain is a liar, and it lies to you like a liar. Number 30, and a quick walk can work wonders on your brain. 5 minutes outside, just go outside, do a little lap. Getting outside and just like feeling air that isn't in your home, it works wonders. And number 31, if none of this advice speaks to you, forget I said any of it. Okay, bye guys. Yay, books! Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye!